Okay. Is this actually recording right now? Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, quick update. Big kudos to everyone that's been actually coming and watching the streams whenever you get the chance, whatever, even if it's after it's not live anymore. It's pretty cool. I think so. This is gonna be a quick update. Um, Basically, I think I'm gonna stream the Twitch next time from because on my phone, since I haven't built my rig yet, for some reason the Streamlabs app does not let you see the actual viewer chat while you're streaming if you're using screen capture. So it seems to only work with Twitch, and that's probably why that little icon is a Twitch icon and not a YouTube icon. So um, basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link to my Twitch channel. So if anyone here actually wants to watch any of those streams when they actually happen, they can actually go and just watch that or and get notifications. So if anyone's actually interested, just click the link. It's going to be in the description somewhere, and then make sure you just follow because then you'll actually get like a notification on your phone or your desktop or whatever whenever I go live. Um, so that's really all I have to say about that. And also had this kind of small rant that I wanted to do a few days ago because I was thinking about the fact that the PS5 is like it doesn't have that much backwards compatibility support compared to the Xbox. Like the Series X is going to be completely backwards compatible with all prior generations, and that's really cool. Even though people always say that like, oh, backwards compatibility is something that people request but they don't ever use, and that's true to an extent. It's always been a kind of niche thing. You're always going to have way more people playing the current games than they do any classic games, but that's always been the case, and that's not really saying much because most of the casuals um, they don't even beat games. Just because they're playing current games doesn't mean they're like hardcore. It doesn't mean that they're actually finishing them. A lot of the time, they'll just buy a game or rent one and play it for like 5 hours or even less, and they're done and they never touch it again. That's the majority of people. There's actual statistics that back that up. Different video game developers and publishers they've released that information before. For example, with like Call of Duty and even in a lot of single player only games, people don't always beat it. They don't even get close. They don't even get halfway through a lot of the time. So it's not really. I've never really bought that argument that like, oh, the majority of people don't use it. Of course not. That's never been the case. It's never been like a majority feature, but it's always been something that fans appreciated and actually did use. So I don't think that's really a good argument for people to be against tobacco's compatibility, as if it's gonna divert resources away from anything else. The problem is, um, Microsoft has been doing a lot of really cool shit this generation, or at least this kind of this era or whatever you want to say. Like the past year or two, and especially this year, they've been dropping a lot of bombshell announcements about the next Xbox and some of the things they've been doing. For example, the what's it called? The Game Pass. It's an incredible value. It's an insane value, and the only thing PlayStation has is PS Now, which is like pales in comparison in literally every way possible. It's almost a joke at how much of a bad value proposition PS Now is, especially when you compare it to Game Pass. And then you've got Game Pass Ultimate, which is even crazier for only a few more dollars. And on top of that, Microsoft's got way better backwards compatibility. Like I've said, it goes across all the prior generations. Meanwhile, Sony, they're like barely even committed to like making sure that the PS4 stuff's going to be great, the backwards compatibility. They haven't talked about PS1, PS2, and PS3, and I think that's clear because it's not there. It's not going to be there. They might put it there in the future, but there's literally nothing that really suggests that they're going to do it, and they probably won't, even though it'd be super easy. People always go, "Oh, well, the PS5 won't be able to do it because the PS3 is so complex. Trademark symbol, it's the architecture's too complex." Yeah, it's a complex architecture, but it's very much doable. It's very much possible for them to um, get that up and running with the PS5's hardware. They can easily brute force it, and that's without them even optimizing it. If hobbyists can do it, who aren't even actually being like directly paid to work on that thing, on the what is it, the RC PS3? I think that's what it's called, the PS3 emulator that's on Windows right now. That was made by a few hobbyists on their own spare time, completely reverse engineering it with no prior documentation whatsoever. And they've got quite a few games that are actually playable right now. Sony does not need to reverse engineer. They don't need to reverse engineer because they already have all the documentation in house. So if they wanted to, they could easily get a PS3 emulator up and running. They could sell PS3 games on the store like they already have. They've already got a ton of games on the store. They could allow you to play off your disc. Ditto for PS2. It's a complete no-brainer. You can play the majority of PS2 games on Windows right now with full speed with any modern processor. It's not rocket science. It's not like some crazy impossible thing like a lot of people like to mindlessly regurgitate. And honestly, even with that, I've kind of had this revelation in the past few, I guess the past few months. I've been revisiting older games, and I've been playing a lot of those on the stream, some private streams, some that don't go here on YouTube or whatever. And I've realized the fact that like most old games, especially when they're polygonal, are just trash. They don't hold up at all. Like there's even with the nostalgia, they're not really worth playing. You know, I've lost count of the amount of times that I've like thought about going back to some older games, and then I'm just like, well, I'll download it and then I'll run it, and then I'm not gonna actually want to play it because I've played it before within like the past 5 years or past 10 years, and it just wasn't that good. And now this far ahead, when you've been exposed to so much superior gameplay and so much better game design, and you go back to those old ass games where like the frame rates are just complete dog shit, the controls are awful, the game design is incredibly unfortunate and just really bad in a lot of cases, and there's so many quality of life features that are just missing. It really dilutes and kind of undermines the very concept of really wanting universal backwards compatibility. As cool as it would be really cool, but um, I realize that at least for me, and I think a lot of people feel this way because I've seen it across the internet. People say the same thing, where it's just like, honestly, there's only a small handful of games that are actually good enough to warrant you playing them again and actually having a good time, because the gameplay might actually hold up, the frame rate might hold up, the controls might hold up, but for a lot of games, it's just not that good. There's not a lot of depth. There's not a lot of really. There's not a lot of fun factor in a lot of those old ass games. When it comes to the Xbox, they only go back to the original Xbox, which came out in 2001. So right off the bat, a lot of those games, quite a few of those games were janky and had bad controls, and even sometimes with the superior hardware, some multiplats still ran like shit on Xbox sometimes. But even then, it's still better than, and when it comes to overall game quality, it's still overall better than like the fifth console generation. Like go back and play fucking Tekken 1 or Tekken 2, right? And then go play like Tekken Tag Tournament 1 or like Tekken 4, and they play so much better. You get knocked down in Tekken 2, and you got to sit there and just lie down for like 3 seconds before you can get back up. Even Tekken 3 was way better. And Gran Turismo. I've been on a big Gran Turismo kick, and like going back and playing even going back to Gran Turismo PSP has just been kind of annoying me and disappointing me, because it feels so much inferior, like in every way, to GT5, which came out almost around the same period. There's just a lot of games that just don't hold up. So I'm not really miffed about backwards compatibility anymore. That's just my personal feelings about it. It'd be cool if we do get it, but I don't really expect it. Because even the PS4 stuff has been really muddled. Like they haven't been like super clear about how it's going to work. They had to clarify exactly how it works on multiple occasions. And the way that they've outright said that there's a lot of PS4 games that won't be guaranteed to run with any improvements in performance from the PS5. So that means that if they ran like shit on PS4, they're gonna run like shit on PS5. And it's just like, if you didn't miss that game, or if you don't have a good PC, then it's not a multiplat, and it's just like no reason to go back and play even some of that shit. So I don't know, man. It's just I was already like really not hyped about the PS5 or Series X, but then I got back into Gran Turismo 7, and that game is literally going to be like a system seller for me, because I know for a fact that I would get so much fucking time out of that game to justify it. And there's been rumors saying that that's going to be a launch title, which is insane, because usually it takes like fucking 12 years for one GT game to come out. I mean, there was literally only one game in the entire console generation of what, the 8th gen, GT Sport was the only one that came out on PS4, which is fucking crazy, and it came out pretty late too. But those are my thoughts on that. This little quick channel update and a rant. So yeah, don't forget, fucking go on Twitch and follow me with the link so you can get alerts, because I actually do want to engage with the fucking people that watch my streams instead of me just rambling and not being able to see anything, which won't be a problem when I build this fucking rig, which I'm probably gonna do Saturday when I have like free time to not do some work shit. But anyway, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Fucking 10.5 minutes. Peace.